Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tarver Academy YouTube channel, where we try to help you learn and have fun so that you can help your students learn and have fun. We want to make your life easier. And I say we, it's pretty much me. So I'm excited you're here. And if you could, right here as we get started, before we get into tea time with Tyler, if you could, I don't know why I said it that way, I'm sorry. If you could hit the red subscribe button underneath this video, wherever you're watching it, there's a red subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. And it doesn't mean you have to it's free. It's free to subscribe. And then you can always unsubscribe later if you're like, I'm tired of this dude giving me free teaching and tutorials and stuff for my students. If you're tired of that, you're like, ugh, I don't want this. You can always unsubscribe. But if you get the red subscribe underneath this, that would be incredible. And also, you want to hit that thumbs up button, that like button underneath the video. That's just something nice to do. And that's even less of a commitment. It's just like one video you might like. And they're like, okay, cool. It's just nice to do. Okay. Those are 2 YouTube tips. If you run across any YouTube video or YouTuber that you like, or that could help you in the future, or that could help your students, I recommend hitting subscribe, but also like their videos because they put a lot of time into that free video that you watched. So starting off today, after you've done those things for me, because I'm selfish, if you could tell me in the chat, in the chitty chat, what you are drinking today. What are you starting your morning with? If you're watching us in the afternoon, I know we have a couple people from different countries watching, and it's not the morning for them, and that's okay. You can still drink tea in the afternoon unless it keeps you up at night. My tea I'm drinking today is a Starbucks dark roast. Again, by the way, I'm almost done with the grounds from that, and then I get to start my San Francisco Bay coffee, and I'm really excited about that. So tell me what you got. Hey, Tino, let's see what you got. Tino said, hey, hello, I've been here every morning, and I want to thank you for your time and all the work you've done in getting the info to us. I've learned. Can I just say something? For somebody that makes a lot of stuff on the internet, it is just really good to hear that you guys actually get value out of it. Because, a lot of times people just like watch videos and they just move on. And it's good to just hear stuff. Like if you see something you like, most creators, they don't get paid. Like I've made thousands of videos and not gotten paid by anybody for making them. And then, sometimes they get monetized and you can make money if it gets like, millions of views or whatever. But it just means a lot to just say that they're helping you, because that's what I want. I want these videos to help you. I want them to help you make your life easier in the classroom. And so that's what I'm excited about. Okay, so we got Abby rolling in with the Sonic sweet tea. We got Lynn. She's going water only. That's all she can drink. That's okay. That's okay. Yolanda's got water and lemon. We got an iced vanilla coffee. Haley Dotson, what's up, Haley? David drinking water in a bottle. He left out overnight. David, no joke. I do that all the time, and it's okay. This sounds terrible, and please, germ people, just earmuffs. Okay, put your earmuffs on. If like I see like a half of a bottle of water out the next morning, and like, even if it was like, I don't know, maybe my kids, I'm like, it'd be easier to do that than just like fix a whole new water. We got water, coffee, water again, coffee, green chai tea, and sweet tea. Man, keep them coming. Thank you guys for participating. And this is Tea Time with Tyler. And I'm so excited you're here. Let's learn something today. Let's jump in to our learning. And if you have any questions, you have any ideas, any thoughts, throw them into the chat. And if I see them, I will see them, I'll toss them up and I'll try to answer them. So give me scenarios, you guys. Google Drive, it's not something that I'm like, ooh, I'm going to make this amazing lesson with Google Drive. But if you have a clean Google Drive, it can really, really make your life a whole lot easier and help you find stuff in the future and help guide you into your resources, okay, and your team's resources. So I'm going to give you some user tips I have. And I think here's the deal. Drive is it's like email for a lot of teachers. It just stresses them out. They don't want to look at it. It's like that one closet in your house. Do y'all remember from Friends, that one closet that Monica has that's just like, she's a neat freak, but she has one closet that's really messy? I feel like that's all of our Google Drive. It's just like, 800 untitled documents that are just randomly in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some tips to clean that up and also keep it organized going forward. I'm not talking about like spend 3 hours cleaning it up. I'm going to say, let's just clean this mug up. So, okay. So we're looking at Google Drive today. First thing I want to get across to you is, what is Google Drive? Okay. Flash drive. What do you do with a flash drive? You store stuff on it. You put files on it. What do you do with a hard drive? You store files on it. You run your programs off of it because it stores the memory for that. What do you do in Google Drive? You store stuff in it. So when you're talking to people about Google Drive, keep in mind, your mind is that Google Drive equals a storage location. Now, it is not, it's like in the cloud. It's actually on Google servers, but it's out there in the world to where you can access it. And here's why I love Google Drive, because I can access it on my phone anywhere I am. So if I'm, 2 miles away from work and my house and I'm out, climbing a mountain and I need to send somebody something, I can go into my Google Drive and send it right then if I need to. So it is an app on your phone. So I think you should download that app. From the app, if you want to go in and actually edit like a doc or a sheet or a slide, it's going to want you to go do that in the docs, sheets, or slides app. So those are other apps as well. Google used to have them all in the same app. It was like one Drive app. You could edit everything in there, and then they split it out several years ago. I would assume they did that just because whenever you start doing all that like programming, coding stuff that I'm not smart enough to understand, when you do all that, it's just too bulky, and they didn't want to put that all in one app. I'd prefer it all be in one app, but Google hasn't hired me to tell them what to do yet, and they probably won't because people don't like to be told what to do. So here we go. I'm in my Google Drive. Okay, this is what a Google Drive normally looks like. I'm clicking over here on Drive. First things first, you the realist. Second things second, let's roll down the left side here, and I'm going to show you what each of these mean, and then I'm going to start giving you some tips. Okay, so right here, this is new. This means you want to create something. You want to create a doc, a sheet, a slide, anything like that. Now, here is a user tip. If you are in, let's say we're in receipts. I'm in this folder. If I hit new and I create something, whatever folder I am in, whenever I do that, let's see, load up. Here we go. All right. Okay. So I made this doc. Whatever folder I was in, whenever I did that, that's the folder it's going to default and put that in. So if you want to make something, you're in Drive, you're like, I want to make a doc. Go ahead and go to the folder that you want that doc to end up in whenever you create it, because it's going to end up in that folder. So keep that in mind. So look at this is my like navigation. Like as you get further and further down the rabbit hole of all of these things, it's going to keep going here, and you can always click up here and go back to where you were. Okay. I don't know why I say that. Okay. Priority. They've added this in. You can actually add in like workspaces. See, this is my burner account, so that's why it's so empty. But you can go in and add in different things on like different workspaces. So I could make, priority. These are things that I've messed with recently or I mess with frequently. They automatically generate it and put it near the top. Workspaces you can create. So like say you have like a few things you're working on for back to school. So you've got like a parent letter, you've got a student, handbook signature, you've got your actual student handbook, you've got your classroom rules, you've got a getting to know you Google form. You can put those all into a workspace. That way, whenever you go in, it keeps all those docs together. Okay, so back on my Drive. This is your Drive. This is your main Drive area. So I've got a friend that I work with. His name's Josh. He's incredible. Pretty much the best at everything he does. One of the things that he always gets frustrated about, though, is we always create docs and sheets and things with him, and it goes into his shared with me because we share it with him. These are things that people have shared with you. They shared with your account. Well, the thing is, he doesn't always put those into his Drive. Your Drive is the stuff that Google knows you want to keep. If it's just shared with me and that person goes in and deletes it, boom, they take it out. I mean, if they're the owner, it'll take it out anyways, but it keeps it out of your Drive because it thinks it doesn't matter to you until you put it in your Drive. So for instance, here, Lindsay, great educator out of Bryant, she made this Google Doc. It's shared with me because she shared it with this account. Now, if I want to put it in my Drive, there's a couple ways I can do it. I can right click on it and I can, add it straight to a workspace. I can add it shortcut to my Drive. So essentially I can navigate my Drive and find it from there so I can put it in that way. I never put it in that way. This is how I put it in there. If I see this, I'm like, okay, I want a video creation in the classroom. That needs to go into let's say I want to put it in classroom. I would click this, drag it, hold it over, and drop it. That's how I put stuff in my Drive. So I drag and drop, drag and drop. All right, this little triangle right here, that's going to help you expand or contract. Is that the right term? This information. Let me see if anybody has any questions. Anybody question? Oh, hello, everybody. Okay, if you have any questions, toss them in. I want to talk about them. I can download Get Drive for desktop. You can download that, so that way you can just drop files in. It'll automatically put it in desktop. We're not going to talk about that, but it is a feature if you want it. Hey, can I go ahead and tell y'all, in case you need any other, like, in case I don't hit anything with Drive that you need, you guys know, I'm sure you all know at this point, like I have created a checklist of tutorials for pretty much everything with Google. It's like a skills checklist. So you can actually go to right here, click on Drive, and here are, where's my Drive? Where'd you go, little buddy? Google Drive, go there. Cool. Well, the Google Drive on here, oh, it's right there. I've just overlooked it. Okay, see this right here? These are all tutorials on how to do different things in Google Drive. So if you want to use that for anything, holla at your boy. A good way to get to it is you can go to Tarver Academy, academy.com/Google. And that's where I keep pretty much every tutorial, every resource that I make on how to use anything with Google. So if you're like, Tyler, I really wish you would talk about, Google Classroom. Well, we did Monday, but you can also go in here and get all these little tutorials on Google Classroom. Here are a bunch of things on Google Drive. See, I've got a lot more in here because pretty much anytime a teacher asks me like, hey, Tyler, I saw your video. How would you do this in Google Drive? I make the video and then I link it in here. The other one's like a checklist if you want to take the Google Certified Level 1 Educator exam. So if you want, tarveracademy.com/Google. I've got a ton of Google tutorials organized on there for you if you want. Okay, sorry. Thank you for your intermission. So as we roll in, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat, how much does your Google Drive, the organization of it, where it is right now, stress you out? 1 to 10, throw that in there. I want to see. Okay. So we're in Google Drive. This one right here, my friend Leanne, she's a phenomenal educator and really good at Google. She uses this one all the time, and I never used it until she was like, Tyler, you need to be using it. You're ridiculous. Recent, over here on the left, if you hit recent, it's going to show you the most recent documents or files that you have created or even just gotten into. How often do we create something or we get into a folder or file, make it a lesson, we bounce out, we do a couple of things, then we go back and we're like, oh, where did I put that? And you haven't like had the time to process where we actually put it. Here, it just shows you the most recent stuff that you've done or created out of it. So I could go in and see all of, these are a bunch of certificates for people because they did some of my PDs that I have online. But that would be my most recent stuff. It's a good way to pull up things you're working on right now. Starred, you can star different documents. So like I've already starred this one, I think. Actually, hold on, it's reconnecting. If it'll reconnect, I'll show you how I can star it. It's a good place to keep. I've got probably like 20 documents that are starred. It's just quick. Like they're like my favorites. They're documents that I use more often or that matter, that are really important for me to get back to. And I don't want to search for them because they're like in a folder, in a folder, in a folder. You guys, oh no. So it's like we got people on each end of the spectrum. Some people are like, I'm not that stressed. And other people are like 10s and 11s. That's okay. That's okay. You know, really? You're a 10. That's what you are. You're just great. You're that good. Okay. So I've already started this one, but I'll unstart it so you can see it. Whenever you have stuff in your drive, you remember, I'm almost positive you can't just do this from shared with me. You have to have it in your drive. But over to the right of wherever the title of the document is, there's a little star. If you tap that, boom, it's now in your starred folder. This is a good way to keep things that are important to you or that you use frequently. So trash is trash. Fun fact, Google tries their best not to delete anything that you have. So like my mom, she's not super confident on using technology, and she's always like, Tyler, I wanna go in and I wanna make that stuff in the Google, but I'm just afraid she always says, I'm gonna blow up my computer. I'm like, well, Mom, first off, computers aren't that volatile. If they were, we probably wouldn't use them. But number two, you're not gonna mess it up because Google does not want you to delete stuff. You know why? Because they don't want you to hit them up and ask them to get your stuff back. Like, hey, where's my document I've been working on for 6 months? And Google doesn't want that call. So they're gonna make it really hard for you to delete stuff. But you can go here and see trash. I don't know if I have any trash. I have some trash. There we go. Some PD stuff. Oh, that was some slides. I was trying to create something with the Google slide. Didn't work. Okay. Here we go. We're in my drive. So in your drive, a couple quick tips for using Google Drive. The first one is whenever you're using it, over time, you're going to create folders. Okay. And as you create these folders, you're going to get a lot. Like this is I can't never use this account. So it's only got like 6 or 7 folders. But if I showed you my other account, I've got probably like 200, 300 folders that I've created over time. That's good because now I'm organizing it. However, oh my goodness, I think somebody had a good question. Oh, in a folder, in a folder, in a folder. It's a story of my life. That's so good. Mary, thank you for saying you like the star feature. I appreciate that. But whenever we are going in here, sorry, I got distracted by the comments because I love comments and I like to get distracted. 2 for 2. But you're going to have a bunch of folders. As you get more organized, you're going to have a bunch of folders. But here's the honest truth, guys. You're only going to use like, I don't know, 5 of those folders for 95% of the stuff you do. All right. You just don't. You don't use all those folders all the time, but you're going to use, a certain select folders. It does them alphabetically. And that can get annoying if you're like, hey, I need to get into my world history folder of all your resources for world history, but it's down at the W's. Well, this is what I do. I go in, I right click on the folder name, like say that receipts is really important to me. I right click, go to rename, and at the very beginning of receipts, I just put an asterisk. That's going to move it to the top of your folder list. So I would say for those folders you use frequently or that use more than the others, the top 5 folders, I would make them have an asterisk at the beginning of their name, which is going to shove everything to the top. Okay. Now, I did skip over something that I really want to address. Right here, do you guys see this? Let me zoom in. See this right here? This little 6-box thing looks like a really lazy hopscotch grid. You can click that. That is grid view. Okay. What that's going to do is going to show everything in little boxes. So see how my folders are now right here, but it does alphabetically across. I'll be honest. I do not like this, Sam. I do not like grid view and ham. I don't like grid view. I call it is what I call these when I'm doing PDs. I call this tablet view. So if you're on an iPad, this is nice because it's like bigger and you can just like tap and it feels more natural for that. But what I do is I always go over to list view. Okay, because it's just going to list them alphabetically going down. You can also sort by name. I can sort by the last time that I've modified it. So the last time I got in and messed with any of these folders or documents, I can say it's last modified at all, last modified by me, or last opened by me. So that way you can get to your most recent stuff. So I'm gonna go back to sorting by name because the modifying one gets on my nerves. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I went to Z to A and now I'm A to Z. Okay, so there you go. Another thing that I do in here is I will color code folders that are important. So it's like I have these levels of importance. The stuff that's most important, I'm going to asterisk, put to the top. I always color code my asterisk stuff because then it's almost like it groups it at the beginning of my Google Drive. And so like all of my asterisk ones are like a color. Like I think I usually put them all the shade of a similar color. So I'll be colors. And then after that, it's just like my regular like dark gray folders. And so you can right click on any of these folders and you can go to change color and we can make it as pretty little purple. Look at that, pretty little purple. Boop, just like that, just like that. Now, I want to show you a difference too on some folders. Look at these 2 folders right here. Do you see a difference on them besides the color? I just changed the color. Do you see a difference on those 2 little guys? On speaking, there's like a little person's, like a little circle head, looks like a anonymous Facebook profile photo. This one on receipts, it's just blank. That means that this folder is shared with people. It's shared with other people. This one is not. This is my folder and I'm the only one that has access to it. So it's a quick way to see if you've got some shares. So if you go into your Google Drive and you're like, excuse me, wait a second. I don't think that's supposed to be shared with people. You need to go in and check it. Google makes it so easy to find what I need if I do it right and pay attention. Absolutely. And I'm going to show you a couple tricks. Okay. So what I've done is I've showed you a few tips, but now what I want to do is I want to show you how to organize your drive that you have right now. Okay. So if you didn't care about it, I don't care about color coding. Color aesthetics don't matter to me, Tyler. I'm just a teacher through and through, and I don't need to look at pretty things. That's fine. That's totally cool, and I respect that. What I would do is right now, you probably have like, I mean, this is again, I never use this, but you probably have like 200 in your main drive. You probably got like 100 or 200 documents and stuff that you've created over time that doesn't have a place. They're just like freelancers just chilling, like cattle grazing in an open field. What we want to do is, I'm going to tell you, don't go through and be like, I'm going to go to each file and organize them. Don't do it. You know why? Because you're never going to go back to 99% of those files. What I always recommend to people is I say, select the top one, whatever the document is, documents, slide sheets, all that. Click that. You're going to scroll down to the very bottom, and I'm going to hold the shift button and I'm going to hit click. That's going to select everything in between. Then you're going to right click just anywhere in the middle of those selected people. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to, oh man, I did that wrong. I did it wrong. Okay, so there you go. Teacher tip. If you mess up, there you go. This is what I would do. I would go in and I would, from my main drive, select new folder, and I'm going to name it archive. Archive. Hit create. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of those documents and I'm going to drag and drop them into the archive folder. That's the way you should do it. I don't know why Google doesn't have it to where I can just select them all, right click, and then put them in a folder. I'm sure they will soon because, well, Google does great things and Google always wins. So also, I got a lot of grounds in this. There's a good chance I got a lot of little black dots in my teeth right now. So if I do, just let me know in the comments. The Electric Academy said, my drive is a horror show. Hey, by the way, you guys should check him out on his YouTube channel. It has some amazing videos. Go click. You can actually click on his name in the chat and go look at his YouTube videos. Ignore me and go watch his stuff. He has a phenomenal channel that you should definitely check out. My drive is a horror show. Well, you know what? Horror movies make a lot of money. So you're going to make a lot of money. That's what that means. Okay. So, oh, stop. He said, oh, stop. For real, check him out. He's really good. So from there, I've created those. You take all, okay, sorry. We're in cleanup drive mode. Step one, take all of those random documents that are just chilling. You're going to create a new folder called archive, select them all, and then you're going to put them into that folder. Okay. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, Tyler, what if I, what if I needed, there was like a few documents in there I use all the time. And now I used to just scroll and look for them. I would search and I'd find them. That's fine. That's cool. I'm going to show you what to do from here to keep organizing your drive. So pizza hands, it's a silly word that I say as a joke. Okay, so I've created this doc. It is saving, rendering, enhance, use move to and drop down. Let me look at that. Okay, so somebody just had a really good piece of advice. Where is it? So I'm archive. Let's see if we can organize this way. So I'm in archive. You selected all of these. Was move to in there and I just overlooked it? I think it was. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, whoever said that. Let me give you credit. T Null. Okay, thank you. So yes, I create a new folder and I drag and drop. You don't have to do that. That is a one way to do it. And that's one of the great things about Google is they make 2 to 5 ways to do everything. So you can drag and drop them in the folder. You could also select all of those random documents, right click, and you can say move to, and then you can actually create a folder from there. So create an archive folder from that. Very well put. Thank you, T Null. 10 points to Gryffindor. You got that. Thank you so much. Okay, excellent. So we're in here. I want to show you this. Okay, next thing we're doing. You're thinking to yourself, well, Tyler, I put those in my archive, but what if what if it needs to be in a special folder? What if it is like something legit that I need to utilize, later? What if it's something that I use frequently and I need to put it in a certain folder? Here's what you do. We're going to put everything into the archive folder. But as you use it, you're like, oh, I needed that document. And you're like, oh, that's a good document. We're going to sort them into folders as we need them. Okay. So it's almost like a need to use basis is what we're doing. If we don't need to use it all the time, we're going to leave it in archive. But if I'm in here, say this document is in Google in my archive that I've put, from here, where that star is, I can also click that move folder that I ignored earlier when it was a, here, make that a little bit bigger. I can actually organize it into a folder directly from here. So this is how we're going to organize our drive. We are going to take all those random folder files. We're going to put them into one folder, archive. And then from this point forward, we are going to organize our drive as we use it. Okay. So don't go backwards. Don't spend 8 hours sorting through every document, creating folders. Don't do that. Number one, you won't do it. You'll talk about doing it, but you'll never do it because it's just a waste of time and you don't want to do it. Just organize it as needed. It's an as needed basis. Okay. So I'm going to go to here to move. I'm going to find a folder that it goes in. But here's the thing. Let's say it goes in, there's not a folder for it. Like I need to create a folder for this because you're just now getting started in organizing your drive. In the lower left, there's a new folder button. You can click that. You can say important documents. You can hit the check. And then you're like, you know what? I'm in that folder, but I actually need a folder within the folder. You can create another folder called silly word titled documents. Boom. Now I can move it actually not only in a folder that I created in there, but in a folder in a folder. So you can actually organize your drive as you get it from there. Yeah, I know. And you're thinking to yourself, well, Tyler, that's cute and sweet, but that's still only dependent upon whenever I go into my drive to find stuff. Okay. Well, fun fact, I want to show you this. So let's say I get right here, I got an email. I'm in my Gmail account. That's where we receive a lot of folders, okay? Or a lot of documents, a lot of things that we have to store in our drive. You can actually have a very organized, well put together drive that you never actually go into drive to organize. You can do it all from your email. So as you, from this point forward, don't go backwards. From this point forward, as you receive an email that has something, you can go in. This is already in a folder, so I'm actually going to go to a different email. Let's say, okay, let's go here. So earlier I emailed myself the algebra standards and then the rough draft of the book that I just wrote. So let's say I want to organize this and I want to put this PDF into a folder in my drive. I can download it directly. That's what that means. But also I can go to this. I can click on the little recycling bin, the little drive symbol. I'm about to sneeze. I can feel it. I'm so sorry that if that happens. I hope it's not gross. Okay. I can click add to drive from there, and then I can organize it in my drive. I'm sorry. I've got the sniffles. Okay. So from there, I'm at the same view that I was earlier. Remember when I clicked move to? I can organize my drive, create folders, do all of it from my email. New book. And then I can put rough drafts. Boom, move here. And I can organize this one as well. Let's say I want to put this here. Boom. I want to put it in, let's see, standards. Just start organizing stuff as you get it. Boom. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling at you guys? Is that frustrating that Tyler's yelling at you for no reason? Google Inception. That is correct. That is very well put. Mary said, I do this with my students to help them organize their Google Drive. I had them find untitled and move them to folders or create folders for the items. We spend a whole class period. Mary, that is so good. Now, after you do that, after they put in that time, effort, and energy into do that, whenever you do that, do you have do you see in those students that they try to keep it organized that point forward? Or do you think that after that, they're just like, okay, we did that because she made us. We're not going to keep it organized. Or do you think that's like motivation for them to keep it organized? Okay, another good question. She asked, why does your user account say G Suite right here in the upper right? The reason is this is my Tyler at tarveracademy.com. So I pay, I think it's like $10 a month is what I pay to have a email account hosted at tarveracademy.com. So I have tarveracademy.com as the website, but then I also with Google pay that $10 a month for them to host this. So I can actually create email accounts and anything I want with at tarveracademy.com. So it's essentially what your school did, but theirs would be under like a nonprofit, but that's what they did. So good question. Very good question. Very good question. Some do, some don't, is what Mary said. That's true, right? Some do, some don't. Some students continue, keep it clean and organized, some don't. Same with teachers. So a couple more things I want to show you. Y'all ready for this one? I don't think you're ready to bump this jelly. Here we go. That's a Beyonce quote. I don't know what that means, so I hope it's not inappropriate. So here we go. Let's go into, where did I just create it? New book. Okay, so here's a little trick in Drive that I think is really neat that a lot of teachers might not know about. So whenever you're in Drive, here we go. I received this as a PDF. It's just a simple document of me, like of the book that I wrote or whatever. So in there, I have it as a PDF. Think of all the documents, all the great resources you have that are PDFs. Here's the problem with PDF. If you want to make a change on it, what do? I know what I used to do is I would print off the PDF. I would go in and put like Post-its. I would tape like a Post-it over the top of whatever problem I wanted to change, and I would write on top of it, or I would adjust it, and I'm like taping things on top of it. You don't have to do that anymore because you can take a PDF. I can right click on that PDF and I can say open with Google Docs. What it does is it takes that PDF and it's reading the entire document and it's converting it into a editable Google Doc. Now, if you'll notice from the PDF original one, there was a picture in there at the top that my buddy Steven made. It's a graphic for the book. It didn't put that because it's reading for text. It's not reading for photos. So if you're putting something that's got a lot of pictures in, it's very picture heavy, it's not going to translate as well. But if it's text, it's going to pull all that stuff. Now, the formatting is going to be a little silly, but guess what? I don't have to retype 118 pages. I can just go in and edit and change around stuff and adjust it. It's better than starting from scratch. Faux show. So that's a fun little thing. Like you want to pass lesson plan folders together. Oh, okay. So Holly had a good question. How do I combine two folders? Let's see if you can do the move to thing that T Null talked about earlier. So let's say I want to combine this one and this one. Let's see if I can hit right click and move to. Yep, you can do it. So I can select two folders that I've already done, hit move to, and then I can create a folder from there, newest folder. And I can put them both in there. Now, if you're asking, Tyler, that's not what I was saying, Tyler. I was saying I've got documents in one folder. I've got documents in the other folder. I want to put all those documents into the same folder. Because what I just did is I put these two folders into another folder. Let's say you were talking about that. This is how I do it. I don't know if it's the best way. There might be an easy way. If you do, tell me in the comments. But if I go in here, I can take these two right here, and I want to put all their files into one folder. I go into the first folder. That's a rough drafts. Let's say I want to go all the way to the docs. I take this. I'm going to drag and drop them just into newest folder. Then I'm going to go over to the other folder in that thing. I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it and drop it into newest folder. So that's how I do it. I go into each folder and I drag and drop them all into that. And then I don't forget to go into into that, and then delete those two empty folders that I have now. Right, take those, right click, and then I'm going to remove those mugs. Remove those mugs. And that's it. That's what I would do. So that's pretty much the gist of Google Drive. Can you guys think of any questions you want me to answer? Any thoughts you have? Like I said, put everything in an archive folder, and then from here on out, start organizing. As you receive those files, toss them in there and do that. Okay? Sweet. If you have questions, throw them in. I'm not done. I'm going to do like my outro stuff that I'd love to talk about. First thing, if you would subscribe, that'd be really cool. I really appreciate that. Trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm not even halfway there. I'm like 40,000. So, oh man, you lost me. My camera died. Sorry about that, everybody. But I keep talking so you can keep hearing me. So whenever my goal is to get that many, so if you would subscribe, that'd be great. If if these resources, because I do have a ton of resources for students, if that would help you in your classroom, that would help your students, then I would really appreciate it if you would have your students subscribe too. Like, I don't cuss in any video, so I am safe to share with students. I've got a lot of Google tutorials for students. I've got a lot of math tutorials. I've got some English stuff. We're working on history. We've got a ton of different subjects of things. Also got digital citizenship courses that you can use. So if you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay. Stop pitching myself. Let's see. I hope we got some questions. Word docs open the same as PDFs. Yes. Oh, Ann. Okay. Ann Atkins. She had a great point. Let me see if I can find a Word document. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I can show you guys how to search and drop. That's a good thing. Okay, look. So Google, spoiler alert, is really good at searches. You know why? Because they created like the best search engine of all time. When you search in your drive, that's a good way to find stuff. Okay, it's going to pop up things based on this. But look at this. You can actually hit this drop down and you can pick what you're searching for. Say you're looking for, you're like, hey, I really need my evaluations. And I know that it's a spreadsheet. You can actually say, I'm searching spreadsheets. You can choose what the owner is. Location, you can pick where it's located in your drive. If you know it's like in a big folder or something like that, you can search your trash, your start, date modified. I'm just doing this. I'm going to go up here. You can do type :spreadsheet, and then you type the word. Boom. It's going to bring up every spreadsheet that has the word post in it. So that's a good way to search. You can do type and then type whatever it is. I usually don't do that. I just click and I choose what type it is and I pick what I'm searching for. Let's say I just want to look for anything I have that is a presentation. Boom. Oh, I have something really good to show you guys before we leave. I know I was doing my outro stuff, but I have something good I want to show you. So here are my presentations that I've got. These are all like different PDs that I do for people. Great, great, and wonderful. Okay, I need to show you something. This is really good. I was looking for a Word document before I got distracted. I know it's somewhere. Let me see. It's not in there. I don't know why I clicked in there. I need to search for a Word document. I got distracted. Tyler, don't try to teach them two things at once. Don't be silly. I don't see Word in the drop downs. Where was it? I'm trying to think where I might have it. Maybe it's in receipts. Maybe it's in here. I'm just searching my drive. You're like, what did I do today? Oh, I watched a guy search his Google Drive. Oh, you can't see very well. How about this? Is that better? Small Tyler. Big heart. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Anne said you can open Word documents the same as PDFs. Look at this. Here we go. These are Google Docs, the blue ones with the 3 lines, little Adidas lines. Those are Google Docs. This is a W. That's a Word document. When you double click on it, it opens it up like this. Now, do y'all see that feature it's talking to me about? You can actually edit and collaborate on Google Docs in real time. Well, it's just pitching Google Docs. I thought you could do that with Word. Never mind. I can make comments on Word. So if you're a teacher and your students are submitting in Word, you can actually go in here and make comments on that from here. There you go. But I can open these as Word. They look like PDFs, and I can actually convert that open as Google Docs. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You guys, your school, all your stuff is probably committed to Google at this point. Like, the only person still using Word is your CBA teacher, and that's because they have to. Give it 10 years. Am I right, guys? And then nobody's going to be using Microsoft Word. Okay, let's take a drink of coffee while we ponder on what I just said. But here's the issue. You've been a teacher for 2 decades. You've got a ton of incredible resources. And you're saying, Tyler, I do not want to, one, create all those same resources as a doc or a slideshow or a spreadsheet or anything like that. Okay, well, you can just drag and drop them in here, or you can hit new and you can upload the entire folder. Okay? You're like, well, okay, well, that would make it easy to put it in there, Tyler. But here's the deal. If you, this is something based on that, and then I'm going to keep this same thought going. If you only see file upload, that means you are in either Safari or Firefox. You are not in a Chrome browser, okay? If you want to upload an entire folder with subfolders and everything else, you have to be logged into Chrome, okay? So that's just a user tip. So if you don't see folder upload, it's because you're logged into the wrong type of browser. So sign into Chrome, upload every folder of every document you've ever done. It'll take like 10 minutes, and then they'll all be in your Google Drive. You'll have access forever. If they clean off the servers at your school, you won't lose all your stuff. You'll still have it in here. Now, here's the other problem. Whenever you do that, you're saying, Tyler, that's going to upload a bunch of Word documents. And then every time I want to go and edit that Word document, I have to right click, I have to go to open with, and I have to go to, Google Docs. You're like, I have to do that every single time. That's super annoying. I'm about to show you a setting that you need to turn on. If you're working in your drive right now, if you're not, go get a desktop computer next to this or split screen me or whatever and do this, okay? You ready? It's very complicated. You need to follow along, okay? There's like 15 steps. Hit the settings gear, go to settings, turn on this checkbox, convert uploads, and you're done. Well, you got to hit done, and that's it. So it wasn't a complicated process. I was just kidding. But go turn that on. I'm going to do that again so you can see it, okay? Settings, the gear, hit settings, click this box right here. When you click this box, what that does is every time you drag and drop a document, like a Word document, a Excel, a PowerPoint, every time you drag and drop them or upload them into your drive is going to automatically take that file and convert it over, okay? Word documents that don't have a lot of photos, they're almost perfect, okay? They're almost perfectly formatted. They're really close. Excel, it is perfect because everything's contained inside of cells. With PowerPoints, it's going to, the formatting is going to be a little bit off. So whenever you go into your PowerPoint, some stuff's going to be sized weird. And the reason is because PowerPoint and Google, like Microsoft and Google, they own the rights to different fonts. And so if Google can't read or doesn't have the rights to the font that Microsoft Word had, or I'm sorry, that PowerPoint had, then they're going to read it and turn it into a font they find is similar. So they're trying their best, but you might have to resize some stuff, but it's still, all the content's there. So I highly recommend you convert everything over, hit done. Okay, I think some people asked some questions in here. Somebody asked, let's see, I'm gonna go through your comments and then I wanna talk to you about something else. Let's see, done and, Cluck Boys. Thank you so much. You said that some really nice stuff. You watched my geometry videos for your class this year when they were the, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you have geometry like that, I recorded, those videos, geometry hadn't changed much in the past decade, but those videos are from 10 years ago when I was in my classroom. I've got a lot of new ones too that I'm making, but that was like me teaching. I think I was in summer school for a lot of it, but I would teach after school, things like that. And I'm recording. I've got every lesson organized for like the first 8 chapters. Electric Academy, using my digital citizenship courses for my class. Thank you for that. I have a full thing of digital on my website, and I'm gonna show you guys where some of these resources are. If you click resources, every PD, all of these, I'm putting on this resources page. So if you get it approved with your PD person, you can go in and say, hey, I'm gonna go through, whatever, this 45-minute using Google for communication collaboration. Can I use that as my PD? If they, you can send them the link and they can say yes or no. I've got slideshows, all this stuff. Like, these are legit PDs that I do for schools, in the summer or whatever. And so you have them, because I started making them online because I was like, teachers might not get to visit with people in person anymore. So this is my digital citizenship right here. And it's got like a ton of it's a lesson plan, but it's also got like 10 videos. I really recommend, especially because you might be going virtual some point this fall. I would recommend going through this with your students because they need to know how to act on the internet, especially if you guys are doing classroom on the internet. If you have any questions, it doesn't need to go drive or late. If you want to throw out questions, we're kind of in the hangout stage. If you want to throw out anything, I'm rolling through and just throwing out what you got. Thank you guys for saying thank you. I appreciate that. Good geometry videos. Thank you. Yeah, my class was fun. I had some really good students. And that's the crazy thing is, on those videos that I have on YouTube of me teaching geometry, it's not even the like, we didn't even get to record the stuff where we actually get to like joke around a ton, but it was a lot of fun. Like, we had one class, man, I had some fun classes. It was at BB High School. It's a great school, by the way. What is tomorrow? Holly asked. We are doing Google Classroom Student View. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few assignments and I'm going to go in, and I think one of the really important things for teachers or anybody that's on the admin side of something, use it from the other side. So when I was a principal, our school had like all this online curriculum, online instruction. We did blended, online, and in-person instruction, but it ran through an LMS. Well, I also taught in that LMS. So I was actually got to see it from the admin side when I'm putting students in classes and fixing stuff and doing all these things for teachers. But as I taught classes as well, I got to learn on the teacher side what was easy, what was difficult, things like that. For you as a teacher, you know what Google Classroom looks like for you. But when students ask, like, hey, I tried to submit, it didn't do it, or hey, I tried to do this, I hate to try to do this. If you go in and see what it's like for them as a student, I think it's going to help you a lot with regards to understanding why they're hitting situations, because it's not as complicated as they're trying to make it out to be. So that's what we're doing tomorrow, Google Classroom Student View. And then I don't have anything listed out yet for the for next week. I mean, I've got an idea. I'm thinking about doing either like YouTube. I'm going to focus on like YouTube channels, like go through, show you some education YouTube channels. I also thought about actually reviewing some YouTube channels. So if you wanted to like throw in like, hey, review mine or review my schools or review this one, I could go in and I do this like type of consulting stuff for people all the time that are trying to build YouTube channels. And I can go in and give advice and throw that in. I can talk to you about building yours, whether you're making videos or you're, curating videos. So I thought about that. I thought about like how you should split up your schedule if you're doing virtual. Throw that in the chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you are on my Patreon, like if you're a Patreon person, which is like our VIP people, which these people, it's like I get to hang out with them a little bit more, and plus they get access to a bunch of stuff. Actually, it's hard for me to do a Patreon because Patreon is like, it's like $3 a month if you want to join that. And I've always like been really, to be completely honest with you guys, I don't push my Patreon a lot because I feel very conflicted, because you want to offer an experience on Patreon that you don't offer in person. So when I thought about doing these PDs, I thought, well, why don't I just do these PDs? I can meet with them for like an hour every morning and walk them through stuff. And I'll just do that for my Patreon page because, like I said, it costs a lot of money to run all these different platforms like StreamYard. This cost me $25 a month that I'm using right now. That G Suite's $10 a month. My contact list, that all adds up. So I'm like, well, that would help. But here's the deal. I always get conflicted because I just want to give teachers stuff for free. And so you can join my Patreon, and I'm trying to think of like perks for being on the Patreon. And one of them is you get to pick what I talk about during these. So if you join, you'll get to choose, and I'll do it. Like anything you pick on there, I'll add to the list. If not, I'll throw it in, and any of the suggestions you guys have, we'll do as well. So if you want to join that, that's cool. But if not, I totally understand. I'm going to give it most everything out for free as well. What am I using for this presentation? I am using StreamYard, STREAM yard, StreamYard. Now, here's the deal with StreamYard. I pay 20 or 25 bucks a month. It allows me to put like the background on there. I don't have their logo. I could also stream live to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. But they have a free version of StreamYard. And it's just like their logos in the corner, and you don't get to stream to both. You have to pick YouTube or Facebook. So this year, when you're teaching, this is what our teachers are using at my school at NLC College, is they're going to be on StreamYard, but they're connected to our school YouTube account. So we're going to have all of our classes running through. Clug Boys, it shouldn't be here. You're a freshman. Hey, bro, learning's learning. Bro, girl, I don't know if you're a lady or a guy, but you should be here. Clug Boys, I'm assuming it's a guy. When students turn in work from Google Classroom, their work floods your drive. I'm not their main teacher, so many of those docs I don't need or want. Any suggestions? Oh, we got a Google Drive question. So good. So what you need to do is you need to be a teacher of that class. They need to add you as a teacher, because every time you have a Google Classroom, Google automatically creates a folder for your classroom. So this right here is Classroom. If I click on it, it's going to have a folder for every single class I've ever created in Google Classroom. Now, this again is my burner account, so I've only got this one class, but it has this, and it organizes the folder based on the class. And then every time you make an assignment, it'll make a new folder automatically for that assignment, and it'll automatically put those students' things in there. So if you're getting flooded with student work, tell them to stop emailing you stuff from that. Just have the teacher add you as an instructor, and then tell the students, like, look, don't email me that. I can go in and see your work as you submit it or as you're working on it in those folders. So that'll automatically keep it organized for you. That's what I would recommend. So I hope I answered your question. If not, you can say mean things about me in the chat. Upload to Doc, game changer. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Mary said, I share documents, but people can't always seem to open them. Have I shared with outside the organization? Maybe. Yes. So let me show y'all that too. That's good. Man, you see, you guys should just ask questions the whole time. I should never come in with anything because y'all ask better questions and stuff that I address. So let me go in and find a document. Okay, so here's the deal. You guys, from your school account, you're signed into at yourschool.com or yourschool.org or .edu or whatever, and you go to hit share. By the way, they just revamped it, so it looks a little different on here. I'll drink a coffee because I've been yelling at you for 50 minutes. Now, from here, if you're sharing a doc and you're making it like, I think this is what you're talking about, Mary. Whenever you make it and say, hey, anybody can look at this, go for it. But then you have people who are like, I can't see it, I don't have access. Whenever you go in and you change it, you hit anyone with a link. Whenever I'm signed into, like, this is a user, like an organization, but also like it's not a school, and Google is trying to be more protective of schools' privacy. So if you click get shareable link or share with anybody with the link, the default on your school account is going to be viewable at the link by anybody with your domain. And so they're trying to keep it in your domain. So when you share with an outside source or a parent, or if you put it on your website, the only people that'll see it from that link, if you have that setting, are people that also are signed in to their school account. Now, here's the deal, and you're going to get this from students and other teachers alike. Whenever you are sharing it with them, and you make it accessible, and you tell them it's only to people, with our email account, and they're saying they still can't see it, they don't have access, it's because they're opening it up on their phone or their desktop and they're signed into the wrong account. 9 times out of 10, if you share it with somebody and they can't have access and you click the button, it's because they're signed into the wrong email account. Just tell them, say, yo, students, you got to sign into your school account. Now, if you want anybody to see it, you still have the option. You just have to go in and change it from, share with anybody at, box.schools.org can view. You would change it to anyone with the link can view. So you just have to go in and make sure that setting, because the default is that. And another thing, that there's not a lot that annoys me about Google, but this annoys me, is it's hard in Drive to share a document with, it's hard to share. Sorry, it's hard to share. Like, I don't see the setting. I still haven't figured it out. Whenever you want to hit share and get like shareable link and you want to make it unlisted in Google Drive on your iPad or on your phone, I don't see the option to make it shareable to anybody. It like restricts it to sharing within your organization. So it's like you have one less option if you do it with your iPad or your phone. Okay. So I'm going to throw that out there. If you're on iPad or phone, you can't share with anybody. You have to do that from desktop, at least from what I've found. I may be wrong. Let me know. Share documents, people can't always open them. I've shared them with someone else on my organization. I didn't even show up your question that you asked. You opened a file with Google Docs and kept looking for my save as button. Whoa, it automatically puts it on my drive. Yeah, Google, if you open a file, everything saves automatically. And like, it's so awesome. Like, there's only like one thing in Google that doesn't save automatically. And that is if you're in your email settings and you make a change, you have to click save changes. It's crazy. Everything else saves automatically. Like, I do need to shave. Let's see. I'm a teacher in 20 plus classes because I'm special. Oh, so your drive is full of documents from all the students in those classes. So when I'm searching, all those docs show up. Okay. Yeah. Are you a co-teacher for those classes? If not, Lori, you need to ask all of those teachers to add you as like a co-teacher. Okay. And if they're hesitant, well, one, that they're not very nice. But also, number two, they need to add you, because if not, you're going to get all that random stuff. You need to have it to where that, so that it'll sort it automatically. And then I would probably turn off notify me, because you don't want all those emails of getting notified in classroom. That's what I've been doing wrong. Thank you. I'm a co-teacher. Okay, great. Yeah, so that's what I would do, Lori. That's how I would solve that. Okay, guys. If you got any more questions, you can throw it out there. If not, thank you guys for coming. This is tea time with Tyler. Thank y'all for joining. I had fun. Tomorrow we're going to go over Google Classroom Student View. But you know what? If you ask a question about anything else, I'll answer it. I'll talk about whatever y'all want. Think about what you want me to talk about next week during Tea Time with Tyler, or if you want me to quit this forever. So thank you guys. Y'all be good. Stay sweet. And as they say, never stop learning. And as they say, that's me at like the end of every video. See you guys later. Y'all be good.